Right, this is a discussion on radio stations. What I was thinking of doing for this discussion was recording a sample of what's been played on each of the different on different radio stations, such as Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 3, Smooth Radio, and so forth. But obviously, if I did that, I'd get landed with another copyright claim. So I just thought leave it. It's just I'm not going to record anything that's on any of the radio stations at all. I'm just going to discuss what is played on them, and has been. You get radio. We'll start with Radio 2. What's played on that? Well, there's Pick of the Pops. That's chart rundowns from times past. They have chart rundowns from certain dates. You got 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But I don't think it ever goes beyond. It might even go into the 2000s. On the K, I don't know, because I haven't listened to it for a long time. But generally, Radio 2 do play a lot of old stuff, because they're catering more for people my age. And my dad used to listen to Radio 2 quite a lot when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, Radio 1 was chart music. Radio 2 was more sort of in middle of the road, easy listening. Barry Manilow, you got your Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond, and so forth. That was what Radio 2 played when I was a kid. When I was Radio 1, they were into chart music. Well, nowadays Radio 2 isn't so much your middle of the road, easy listening radio station. They play they play a wide range of music on it, but it's generally old stuff. More often than not, it's old stuff because it's catering for people my age. Radio 3, that's classical. Radio 3 is classical. Radio 4, you've got like they're not a music radio station, so they have like your soap operas, your radio soap operas, the Archers and so forth. You got your talk shows on various subjects, but they're not a radio station. Radio 4 aren't. Then you got Smooth Radio. Well, they've sort of taken over from where Radio 2 left off. They're like your middle of the road, easy listening. And Andy Williams, Neil Diamond, Barry Manilow, whatever, all that sort of stuff at radio. The same sort of music Radio 2 used to play when I was a kid. I mean, you can tune into Radio 2 that nowadays. You got like you can hear heavy metal records, Motorhead, and I mean, they never used to play that sort of thing when I was a kid, but they do now. Because they have gone, but they play that sort of music because someone who's older might want to listen to it. Somebody of my age. It's funny because I remember was someone wrote into Terry Wogan once, asking if he could play more records by Saxon, Motorhead, and all these other heavy metal bands. And he says, Terry Wogan replied to it saying, I'm sorry, we can't play records by Saxon, Motorhead, and so forth because my producer has never heard of them. The person who organised his playlist had never heard of them. No, Radio 2 people had no knowledge of heavy metal back in the day. because they were all Radio 2 has always been aimed at the more middle age of us. Radio 2, what one is your chart music? They're a chart music radio station. Well, not altogether a chart music radio station, because I mean they used to play music that wasn't in the charts, but I think they probably they don't always. It's all current music, not all of it is in the charts. I mean, when I was a teenager, I used to listen to John Peel quite a lot, and it wasn't chart music what he played, but it was all the latest stuff. But it wasn't it wasn't mainstream. But basically, this is a discussion on what radio stations you like to listen to. You got Jazz FM as well. No, I don't listen. I don't think I've listened to Jazz FM. Might have done a little bit on the odd occasion, but do you like Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 3, Radio 4, Radio 5, Radio 6, Smooth Radio, whatever? Just put in the comments what radio stations you like to listen to. And I haven't done a sample of what's being played on each one, because all that had happened if I did that was I just get landed with a copyright claim. So I don't want to bother with that. I mean, if I get enough subscribers on my YouTube channel, which I doubt I ever will, I might be able to monetize it in the future, but you can't monetize stuff that's got a copyright claim, can you? Anyway, I'll be back soon with some more material.